Over the last year or so, tiny mics have gotten really good. Hollyland released the Lark M2, followed by DJI releasing the Mic Mini, and now a company called Maono have just released the Wave T5. So in this video, we're going to take a look at the Wave T5, hear how it sounds, and compare it to the Lark M2, as well as the DJI Mic Mini. Disclosures up front, Maono did send me this mic, but are not sponsoring the video and don't get to see a preview before it goes live. Also, unless it says it on screen, all the audio in this video is being recorded with the DJI Mic 2 paired with the Osmo Pocket 3. Now let's get into it. There are multiple versions of the Wave T5 depending on if you're wanting to connect to USB-C, Lightning, a regular camera, or if you want the option to do all of the above. The version sent to me has everything: a camera receiver, USB receiver, Lightning receiver, and 2 mics. Each combo includes this charging case, which charges your mic set like a giant AirPods case. Out of the 3 mics, the T5 is the smallest to carry around. Here's a look at all of the cases from above. Here's a look at the cases from the front, and a look at the cases from the side. The one feature that I really appreciate from the Mic Mini is the fact that the case actually locks closed. The cases for all 3 mics charge via USB-C and have charge level indicator lights on the front to let you know how full the case battery is. The battery life on each of these cases is pretty solid. With the Wave T5, you get 9 hours from transmitter and receiver respectively, with a total of 30 hours from full charge if you use the case to top everything up. The M2 is similar, with 10 hours from the transmitter, 9 from the receiver, but since the case has a larger battery, you'll get 40 hours of total usage from a full charge. The Mic Mini is the winner in this category. The transmitter lasts 11.5 hours, the receiver 10.5, and a total runtime of 48 hours from a full charge. The Mic Mini has been my main microphone since its release over 6 months ago, and honestly, I can't remember the last time I charged this full set. When you think about it, you're probably only using the mics for about 2 hours at a time. So think about using the Wave T5 with its 30 hours. If you split that in half, it means that I'd be able to record around 15 videos before I would have to charge the whole set. Here's a look at the receiver for the DJI Mic Mini. Adjusting the input gain of the mic is done by rotating this switch, which has a really satisfying click. On the left is a 3.5mm input, which goes out to your camera, as well as the pairing button, and then on the right is the power button. The actual microphone itself is super small. All the buttons for the mic are on this one side, the pairing button and then the power button. Clicking it once will turn on the noise cancellation, which is shown by this yellow light. This mic can be clipped to your shirt using a magnet and also has a clip that's built onto the mic, which can't be taken off. This is the receiver for the Lark M2. The gain can be adjusted by rotating this top here, which just turns infinitely. On the side, you have a pairing button and a power button, and the 3.5 out to the camera on the other side. The actual mic for the Lark M2 is super tiny. This mic connects to your clothes magnetically. It has one button on the side that you use to turn the mic on and off, and also click once to turn on noise cancellation, or turn it back off with another press. Looking at the Maono receiver, the adjustment for gain is done very similar to the Hollyland. You have a power button on the one side, 3.5mm to the camera, and then the ability to switch between mono and stereo sound. The Wave T5 mic itself is super tiny. On the side is a power button, which doubles as the noise cancellation on and off, as well as a dedicated mute button. Here's a side-by-side of the Lark M2 and the Wave T5. These mics are very similar in design and shape, with the Lark M2 being the slightest bit smaller. To help with wind noise, the DJI Mic Mini has a mini windscreen that just clips on top of the microphone like that. In some ways, this might be a more discreet look, but in most ways, it just looks like the mic has hair. Then here's a look at the windscreen for the Maono T5, which just goes right over top of the microphone. So this is what the mic will look like, depending on where you want to mount it. And then the Lark M2 definitely has the biggest windscreen. Here's the Wave T5 on the left, and the Lark M2 windscreen on the right. For me, audio is the most important category. So let's switch over from the Mic 2 and see how each of these mics sounds. The Hollyland Lark M2 and the DJI Mic Mini have 2 different levels of noise cancellation that you can choose from if you're using the microphones connected to your smartphone. Something the Mic Mini has that the other 2 don't is a limiter, which means it's going to do its absolute best to not peak or distort the audio that's coming into it. That's a super handy feature to have, especially if you're out and about vlogging with this mic and you don't want to be too concerned with the unexpected noises that might happen around you. Each of these mics has their own version of environmental noise cancellation. When connected to your camera, you get a more simplified version of on or off, which is the primary way we'll be testing the microphones today. If you connect the USB transmitter to your smartphone and use the app, you'll get access to way more features, like multiple levels of noise cancellation, and in the case of the T5, ways to customize the way your voice sounds. My main focus in this video is seeing how each microphone sounds at its core. So each microphone during these tests is paired to my FX30 up above here. On paper, the Wave T5 should have some advantages over the other 2 mics. It uses artificial intelligence for the noise cancellation, and like I mentioned, if you're using the app, you get access to 3 different levels of that, as well as the ability to custom tailor what level of noise cancellation you want on. It also has something the other 2 mics don't have, which is the ability to choose from a handful of different vocal filters. Here's a quick sampling to see how that sounds. We can hear voice enhancer. This is the brightness filter. This is the warmth filter. And this is the huskiness filter. So for the noise cancellation test, I'm playing the ambient sounds of a coffee shop from my MacBook Pro sitting in front of me. I have my headphones connected to the camera so I can hear the difference in real time. I have a couple sentences I'm going to read, and I'll do that for each microphone. First up is the DJI Mic Mini. The Calgary Stampede is an annual rodeo, exhibition, and festival held every July in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. The 10-day event, which bills itself as the greatest outdoor show on Earth, attracts over 1 million visitors per year. This is the Lark M2. The Calgary Stampede is an annual rodeo exhibition and festival held every July in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. The 10-day event, which bills itself as the greatest outdoor show on Earth, attracts over 1 million visitors per year. And then this is the Maono Wave T5. The Calgary Stampede is an annual rodeo, exhibition, and festival held every July in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. The 10-day event, which bills itself as the greatest outdoor show on Earth, attracts over 1 million visitors per year. And now for fun, let's try the DJI Mic 2 and use noise cancellation built into our video editing software. The Calgary Stampede is an annual rodeo, exhibition, and festival held every July in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. The 10-day event, which bills itself as the greatest outdoor show on Earth, attracts over 1 million visitors per year. So as far as the results go, each of those mics had a different interpretation of how it was handling noise cancellation. I do have my preference, but I'd like to know what yours is down in the comments below. I hope this was a helpful comparison between these 3 tiny mics. If you'd like to pick up any of these mics, I'll leave links in the description so that you can find them super easy. And if I can scrounge up any discount codes, I'll include those as well. Thanks for spending your time with me. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you again.